Welcome to the DeFi Standard, and I'm Mickey B. Fresh. Today, I have some exciting news to release. This coming Monday, Brad Kimes and myself will be interviewing the creator of the Trustline Credit Network and Probity Vault, which is built on the XRP ledger and the Flare Network. So this will be interviewed on Brad Kimes' channel, which is Digital Perspectives. We'll be recording on Monday, and he will be releasing it on Tuesday. So I just want everyone to get a heads up on that. I'm excited, and we're going to do a little brief overview of the Trustline Credit Network, the Probity Vault, and then the decentralized crypto collateralized stablecoin called Aurei. So let's really dig into it here. We're going to do a brief overview because there's going to be a lot of questions that we're going to ask the creator. Now, what does it mean for the future of DeFi and the traditional banking system? Trustline is a stablecoin credit network for payments using Probity Vault to hold crypto as collateral. So we have to think of this system has some aspects of like what Kava's doing with a collateral deposition built on Flare, which is the Probity Vault. But it's taking it to the next level and a little different direction, as in it also has this credit network, which is going to be a fiat on and off ramp on the XRP ledger. And it's going to take advantage of the Trustline's features that are built into natively into the XRP ledger. So this is really exciting to me. Now, this is separate from Flare Finance. It's complementary, but this is a separate project. And it is in the DeFi sphere. So let's go over here to, we're going to go through a couple different slides today. Now, Trustline is building Probity, which is a blockchain community bank. And that's our decentralized crypto bank. It's not like a Kraken, which is a centralized bank, crypto bank. This is a decentralized blockchain community bank built on the Flare Network. Probity Vault accepts crypto as savings deposits or as bank equity that can be converted into loan assets. The Trustline app allows you to save and spend using Probity. Deposit your crypto in a high-yield savings account or borrow the Aurei stablecoin to pay anyone in-app or by SMS. So let me just repeat what that says there. You're going to have this app that you'll be able to use to pay debt on, but by SMS. That means not connected to the internet necessarily. That's powerful, which means text messages. It's the same concept as having a fiat savings account and a credit card, but without the middleman. Now, this is taking DeFi to that next level because we're adding things in the traditional market like credit cards. How many people have credit cards? How many people use them? A lot. Well, now we're bringing that onto the blockchain, onto the XRP ledger, onto Flare. This is one of the first projects doing that, and on one of the largest blockchains and most used being the XRP ledger. A testnet has already launched, so we're going to get into that here. Let's just read through some other things first I want you guys to understand, and gals. We would like to see Aurei be the future for crypto payments. Pegged to the US dollar, it settles in 3 to 5 seconds, transaction fees at a fraction of a penny. And this is issued onto the XRP ledger. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, what about XRP? Isn't XRP going to be used for that? Hang tight. Aurei is backed by crypto collateral. It's backed by FXRP. It's backed by Spark. And in the future, other F assets. So this is basically, think of this as a transformation of XRP Spark into a form that allows it to act just like fiat, as in having the same unit of account. But the differences here are it has no counterparty, it's decentralized, and its supply is determined by the protocol. So let's get a little more into that, because there are some pieces here that, are a little detailed and they are a little tech, but some of the terms I think you'll be very familiar with that they use. So let's just start here quick. An autonomous blockchain bank for consumer payments. Probity Vault. And now the Probity Vault is built on the Flare Network, just so everyone knows that component. You deposit your crypto in a secure blockchain vault. This isn't like your Coinbase vault, which is a centralized vault. This is a on-blockchain decentralized vault. More robust, less trust, can't be confiscated. Lock crypto to borrow stablecoins or earn yield from the blockchain-generated loans built on the Flare Network. And now here's the Aurei stablecoin. Now this is the symbol for Aurei. I know there's another Aurei out there. If you do Google it, I'm told that is nothing to do with this project. So just keep that in mind if you see something else Aurei that's ERC20, because this is a different Aurei. I'm not sure that other project even exists anymore. So the Aurei stablecoin, backed and secured by crypto collateral, backed by Spark, XRP, and other F assets. Aurei will be the first stablecoin to be issued trustlessly on the XRP ledger. Now, Trustline App, which this is really one of the key components that I'm really excited about, because instead of having to go through Coinbase, through Uphold, and all these others, they're great, but now we're going to have a new option. The XRP ledger has these things called gateways. They haven't disappeared like some in the community think, just like the XRP ledger's decentralized exchange. It's still there. It's powerful. Now, Trustline App is a mobile app that will allow you, is your gateway to decentralized finance. Plug into the Trustline Credit Network via the Trustline App to make payments to anyone in the network. Deposit Spark and XRP into a Probity Vault, allowing to use the app like a credit card. So as you deposit basically your crypto in there, you're able to mint the stable coins and then use those. So you're using them like a credit card in a way, and then you got to pay it back at the end of the month. Or you could use it like a high yield savings account. So you mint those stable coins out, and then you lend those, and then you earn yield. And I'm going to go through other benefits here that are really powerful. So why use Trustline? Access to credit. No application required. Use crypto to secure a stablecoin loan for payments to others. Integrated crypto. Use native XRP ledger and the Flare Network features from your smartphone and track your accounts all in one app. So basically, a component of this is going to replace credit cards, and we're bringing that now onto the ledger. This is where powerful components of the ledger meet DeFi, and this is the next iteration. You're not seeing this happen on Ethereum. All right, so let's move along here. All right, so introduction. There is documentation out. I am going to post all the links in the descriptions below, and I encourage everyone to go through this. There is a new token that's going to come along with this as well, which is called the Trustline Credit Network token. New type of token, really unique design, and I'm excited to explain it, and I'm excited to talk to the creator, Matthew Rosenden, with Brad Kimes on Monday about this new Tcn token and what makes it unique and all the other things. But let's go through them here. This is going to be, a little longer of a video, but I want everyone to get an idea of how powerful these apps on Flare and XRP Ledger are. And they're not just like, spin them up like another Uniswap. These are new DeFi protocols that are going to be the foundation of the next generation financial system. So this is important. So please pay attention. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but listen to what I got to say. The XRP ledger uses a concept of trust lines and issued currencies to represent credit lines backed by fiat reserves held by institutions known as gateways. So I know there's some people on Twitter like iPinky and Michael Zischek that have said gateways no longer exist. Ignore those people. Issued currencies are redeemable as fiat currency from the issuing gateway. In 2020, Flare Networks proposed a trustless stablecoin issued on the XRP ledger via Flare smart contracts, and we covered that. So that's this right here. This is the closing the circle of interoperability, and we covered that in a video prior, about a month or two ago, and I said this is coming. So let's go back here. I'll post that in the description below. So Trustline Inc. was established in 2021 to create a crypto credit network that pioneers the issuance of the first trustless stablecoin for everyday payments that settles in 3 to 5 seconds at a fraction of a penny. The Trustline Credit Network enables liquidity providers to mint Aurei stablecoins and to earn interest from borrowers. Borrowers can borrow Aurei on the Flare Network and the XRP ledger with other chains supported by Flare Network. Elements of the protocol's design were inspired by MakerDAO, Compound, and Uniswap. So now let's move on to Aurei. Aurei is the stablecoin that is created by the protocol liquidity providers. It is an over-collateralized crypto stablecoin that can be backed by Spark or other F assets such as FXRP. So I know many of you remember David Schwartz's stablecoin proposal from about a year and a half ago. This has some components of it, but it's actually a further evolution of it with the Flare Network and the whole Flare time series Oracle and the fact here. It's like a major evolution of it, actually, without having to make any changes to the XRP ledger. So every unit of Aurei corresponds to a unit of an underlying collateral asset maintaining a value greater than $1. In some cases, over-collateralization of 2 times or greater is required to ensure the price of Aurei maintains the peg to US dollar. Now, I believe it's 150%, which is 1.5 times for FXRP. Probity now. So Probity Vault, this is what is built on the Flare network. Probity is the decentralized application where users can provide Aurei liquidity for borrowers. Trustline mobile app sources funds for payments from Probity for every credit-based transaction. See that credit? So this is something brand new to the whole DeFi space because it's utilizing the XRP ledger and Flare. This isn't just under-collateralized loans. This is very different. Behind the scenes, Probity is calling the Trustline Credit Network smart contracts. All right, and we're going to get into that to the next section of how that works. There's 3 different components to that. There's the vault, the treasury, and the teller, and they each have 2 functions, but we'll get to that. So now on to the Tcn token. So this is a new token, not going to be airdropped to you. So before anyone asks, it's not going to be airdropped. But listen here on how it's designed, and it has a very unique design. I think it's an evolution of governance tokens, really. So the Trustline Credit Network token, which is a symbol of TCN, is a semi-stable governance token earned by liquidity providers. TCN represents interest earned by lending Aurei. TCN owners vote and decide on proposals by staking a supermajority of TCN. TCN is the first stablecoin to have voting rights. Due to the voting rights, a premium may be placed on the price of TCN. However, it's guaranteed to stay at or slightly above due to the voting premium of $1. So it's always going to be more than $1 it's going to be worth, or $1 or more, but probably more. while Aurei retains the peg to $1. Aurei suppliers have the option to withdraw interest in either Tcn or Aurei. So now, if you're lending your Aurei out, you could either accept the interest in Tcn or in Aurei. So this is interesting how it has those two options there. So, and you'll also looks like you're going to be able to stake the Tcn token, which is going to how you'll be paid in interest, and then have the governance voting rights. All right, so let's move on to smart contracts. So here's a description of the different components here. So we have the vault, which is the vault contract allows you to manage the underlying collateral supplied to mint Aurei or to secure Aurei borrow. The two vault management methods are deposit and withdraw. The collateral that may be used is going to be Spark, which is FLR, F assets such as FXRP, or possible other ERC20s, which will be FLR20s on the Flare Network, and that will be determined by governance. After collateral is stored in the vault, you can supply or borrow Aurei by interacting with the treasury and teller contracts. So now we have Aurei, we know what that is. It's an ERC20 compliant, which will be FLR20 on the Flare Network. It has a mint and burn features, but only the treasury contract can mint or burn Aurei. So now here's the treasury, which is a decentralized treasury. There's no centralized entity to any of this. The treasury contract owns the Aurei reserves. So there is some Aurei reserve that's set out from the beginning, which I think is healthy in the system. So the reserve is the equivalent to the amount of Aurei that is liquid for borrowing. The two treasury management methods are issue and redeem. By invoking issue, the caller locks collateral in the vault to mint Aurei. The new Aurei is owned by the treasury contract until it is lent out to the teller contract. So basically you're putting in your FXRP, it mints Aurei, which is still owned by the treasury, but then you can loan that Aurei out and earn interest on it. So let's read about that. So this is the teller contract, which creates loans and tracks debt balances. The borrow interest rate is automatically determined based on the amount of Aurei liquidity. The two loan management methods are create loan and repay. By invoking create loan, the teller locks collateral in the borrower's vaults and sends Aurei from the treasury to the caller. This method updates the interest rate based on the change in Aurei liquidity. By invoking repay, the caller reduces their debt balance by providing Aurei back to the treasury. I know that sounds very technical. We're going to ask him some questions on exactly if he could break this down when we do our interview on Monday. So here's Tcn is an ERC20 or FLR20 compliant contract with mint feature, mint method, only callable by the treasury contracts, in which case a supplier is withdrawing accumulating interest. The Tcn token also has voting rights. All right. So one thing I do want to throw in here that I want everybody to understand and realize. If you put your F asset, say FXRP or Spark, you could put those in the vault. You will still earn your daily rewards in Spark while your FXRP is locked in the vault. So, yes, you pay your 5% when you bring XRP over to Flare, turns into FXRP. Now you receive daily Spark just for bringing it there. But while your FXRP is then put in, say, the Probity Vault, you continue to earn your daily Spark from the general rewards pool on top of all of this going on and all this other ability to earn yield and interest. So I just want everyone to be aware of that, and that's what makes the Flare Network a little more special than Ethereum, Cardano, and some of these other networks. Now, same goes for Spark. If you put Spark in as collateral, you'll still be able to delegate your vote to the signal provider, which is the FTSO vote, to earn more Spark. So you're still able to take advantage of those protocol layer yield opportunities in addition to then utilizing them in the app. So this is why there's such a huge incentive here for holders of Litecoin, of XRP, of Doge, of XLM, and eventually Bitcoin and others to bring their assets over, not to earn that daily yield, but then to use them in all these cool DeFi applications. Now, I will say that Trustline and Probity are very similar terminologies that you're using. Vault, teller, treasury, that these could be used for corporates, and I think there's going to be other stakeholders involved here too, maybe some institutions or hedge funds. I'm not sure about that. I'm speculating, but the language and the design seems to be a little different than your everyday DeFi protocols. That's why I'm saying I think this is a complement to Flare Finance. All right, let's move along here. Now we're going to go into interest rates. Calculating interest rates and the culmination of debt. The system interest rate is proportional to the opportunity cost of supplying Aurei with the underlying collateral. All right, I don't want to bore everyone with this too much. There's some real, mathematical details in here, and we'll go through some of this stuff in the interview. But one thing that is available is compounding interest on a per second basis. So you put your FXRP, you mint the stablecoin, now you loan that out, and you're earning compounding interest per second on that. That is something that could add up really fast, while at the same time, you're earning your Spark rewards while it's just sitting there in the vault, and this is all at very low risk. So that's something that's good. Moving on here now, this talks about the interest payable. Now here's the balance sheet. They show the different things here, and I'll post this in the description below. It shows the reserves, and here's the liquidations. So for example, it's showing collateral type Spark. You would need a 450% over collateralization, where XRP is only 150%. If it goes below that, then they get liquidated. But remember, your assets that are held in the vault still can gain capital appreciation. You do not lose out on any capital appreciation. But that also means if the price of XRP drops while it's in the vault, that means you might need to add more collateral. But if it goes up, you still gain all the benefits of the price going up. So there's nothing to worry about on that end, and you're also earning your daily Spark rewards. All right, now on to governance. So they're going to go further into it, but this Tcn token I really like, because proposals are ratified when they go to a vote and are passed with a supermajority votes by Tcn holders. They allow for upgrades, new collateral types, and risk parameters. Now, very interesting there. This is the closing the circle of interoperability. And there's this really cool PDF that he put out. Aurei is the crypto stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. Aurei is engineered for payments, lending, and trading. Now, by Aurei being on the XRP ledger, it would give it the second asset on the ledger to XRP that's actually decentralized, has no counterparty, and can trade by anybody. Because any issued asset on the XRP ledger, like any other stablecoin, you have to trust that counterparty, that gateway. This is a truly decentralized stablecoin that is backed by FXRP, basically. It's just got the unit of account of fiat. And this is kind of really, this is going to be how I think we merge the traditional markets with DeFi. This will bring over the hedge funds, the VCs, the other stakeholders. And I think it will also bring over CeFi too, liquidity providers, because they're able to now have the ability for credit. And that's one thing we haven't seen. And it's not just under collateralized. There's components here that we still don't know, that how it works with the trust lines and the XRP ledger. But just to recap here, Probity Vault is the smart contract system responsible for minting Aurei and executing loans on behalf of depositors. Depositors are those who put their F assets or Spark or other FLR20 tokens into the vault. And, well, that's the next thing here. One, depositors are the ones who put the collateral in the vault, allowing them to receive Aurei or earn interest. So this is one question I'm going to ask him. So if you deposit FXRP, say, in there, can I just earn interest, or do I have to receive the stablecoin and then lend that out? So we're going to get some clarification on that. The borrower is the one who borrows Aurei from Probity, which is the primary market, or from the secondary market. And the functionality here. So I want to go through this a little. Aurei is minted through a smart contract when cryptocurrency collateral is deposited into the Probity Vault. Aurei can be issued by the depositor, which is a direct issuance. So that would be, say, if you put your FXRP in there, it's direct issued to you. Or Aurei can be issued to a third-party borrower, which is an indirect issuance through Probity. Probity lends Aurei to a borrower on behalf of the depositor, allowing the depositor to earn interest at the prevailing interest rates. Only Probity Vault owners can lend Aurei on Probity, but anyone can loan Aurei on the secondary market. So basically what it seems like, is that you're going to put your FXRP in, or your Spark, or your FLTC, FXLM, whatever. And now you could just then take that Aurei and lend it out right away back to the Probity Vault and the Treasury, and it will lend it to somebody for you. But you get that interest rate paid to you on a continuous basis, which is compounding. So that seems like what that is. Or you could take the actual Aurei and then lend it out on the secondary market. So there does seem some flexibility. Here's the floating interest rate. And these are very similar to the traditional markets, how a lot of this is working here. These aren't just crazy high yields and all that. This is more, terminology is based on, bank-like terms, vaults, treasury, tellers. So let's go into the floating interest rate here. Depositors are liquidity providers who set the interest rate when lending through Probity. When a loan is fulfilled, the global interest rate is updated to the rate specified in the executed loan order. Depositors start earning interest upon order execution, so they are incentivized to provide liquidity for loanable funds at rational rates based on Aurei demand, therefore equilibrating demand to the supply. So basically, you're supporting the liquidity and supplying it by lending out your Aurei, and you're earning interest on this. And dynamic devaluation and revaluation. When the Aurei market price crosses a deviation threshold from the target price, a scale factor is applied to the loanable funds market, either inflating or deflating the Aurei to bring supply and demand into equilibrium at a target price. So these are the methods for basically managing the peg. It's very well designed, and I really like what Kava did with their project and their collateral deposition and Kava. But they really never found a way to figure out how they could get USDX to be stable one-to-one, and they've struggled with that. And not to knock them, I really like the Kava project, but this is designed in a way so that Aurei will always have that dollar peg. It has a use case. It doesn't need to be listed on other exchanges and do all that. It's unnecessary because it has a use case on the XRP ledger to be borrowed as credit. So it has its use case and it has utility right out the gate. All right, so now moving on. Whoops, went a little too far. Governance. The Trustline Credit Network token is the governance token for the systems. We went through this. The token also plays a role in a last resort recapitalization of the system. In compensation, Tcn holders earn rewards based on a fixed % of the system loan interest. So that's interesting there too. So here we go through the collateralization and see how the bid and asks are decided on interest rate here. So that's really where this is interesting. The primary exchange is an on-chain system where dealers buy and sell Aurei at spot rate. Order books are off-chain, and vault owners specify a limit price in the form of an interest rate. Example, a market buy order of $30 of Aurei would move the system rate. So this is how the interest rate is managed. The system interest rate adjusts for every order execution. The on-chain smart contract settles each loan order by sending the agreed amount of Aurei to the buyers and updates the global interest rate in the same transaction. Thus, global interest rate is determined solely by free market mechanics. And I think that's important. It's not overly controlled by governance. Governance has some say, but it's free market mechanics. Like, that's what I like to hear. And that's really what we got to get back to in the market. And there's transparency. This is where the traditional markets have gotten away from. So historical rates can be queried from executed trade data and to calculate continuously compounded interest. We take time in discrete 1-second variables. So remember, it's compounding interest every second. The cumulative rate on an RA loan, We could go through that. Total debt. And then here's loanable funds market. I don't want to go too much of this. We're going to save some of this for the interview. But, this is a good little graph here, how it shows supply and demand. So since funds are allocated using an order book, supply and demand move the interest rate in a manner similar to any other market. An amount of unallocated RA exists in the system in proportion to the sell-side order book liquidity. See? So it's always sitting there. So that's this unallocated RA that has been minted by the system but sitting in an order, on an order. So it's there to support the system. Outstanding RA. It's outstanding RA that has been issued through Probity. So outstanding is through Probity, people putting in collateral. Unallocated is what has been minted by the system sitting on an order. All right, so let's read this one because this really describes the peg and how it manages it. And then we'll move on to the actual Probity blog and the testnet. Example scenario. If RA trades at $1.05, this means there is more demand than supply for RA. Probity Vault Probity will ensure that a borrower seeking $105 will only receive $100 in RA, which is a discount amount. This reduces the demand through artificial deflation of RA relative to the US dollar. Since all circulating RA would be losing purchasing power, borrowers would be incentivized to return RA until the peg stabilizes. Normally, an interest rate hike should be sufficient to solve this problem, hence the dynamics of the Algorithmic Valuation Act as a fallback stabilization trigger. So basically, it's a way to manage the peg to always keep it at $1 without going too far there. All right, so then here is I'm going to post this link down below. This is the Probity testnet, which went live April 10th, and I think they're waiting for the Costin 2, but I think it's back on. So you could set up your MetaMask just like you did with Flare Finance and connect to the Costin test network. And here's some information on it. You connect your wallet. I'm not going to go too much through that. But what it does is it allows you to see what's going on here with like the vault management. So here you could see how it shows your collateral, shows your balance sheet, your assets, your debt, your capital. I mean, this is truly a decentralized bank. This is what it's allowing you to do. This is the next iteration of DeFi. We're now merging with traditional markets. Like this, I think, is a really big deal, and it's like the perfect complement to Flare Finance. I mean, this is next level stuff right here. You could take out loans. You get APR interest rates. Whoops. And here's the conclusion. So let's go. Here's the roadmap for on Trustline's GitHub right here. There is also this design for a protocol controlled value mechanism to enable holding Aurei without a debt position. So that's interesting here. There are some really great features that could be still added to this. So here's the checklist. Shows the tasks leading up to Flare and XRPL mainnet launch of the Aurei stablecoin and the Trustline mobile app. So Probity DApp and testnet. We also have then, so the Probity DApp testnet, that's going to be like browser-based. But the mobile app and stablecoin iteration, this is most likely going to give us our fiat on and off ramp that could connect to our bank accounts and everything. And this will allow us to connect DeFi to the real world, to the traditional markets. We have FXRP system integrations, liquidations implementation, Oracle implementation, which Flare Time Series Oracle, that's what allows all of this to happen, is that collateral could be managed right there from the Flare Time Series Oracle. It knows how much collateral is there. So if you have FXRP and Flare, it knows the exact dollar value of that. It doesn't have to count on Chainlink and these other poorly designed Oracle systems. It's built into the Flare network. It's the Flare Time Series Oracle, the first decentralized Oracle system built in at the protocol layer. And then here's all these other things. The mobile app will get a public beta for this, Aurei mainnet simulations, Aurei mainnet deployment, Aurei contracts hosted, and then the Probity DApp open source. So we have a couple different things going on here. It's not fully done yet. And where's this? Oh, here's just some look. You know, I didn't connect my wallet to it, but here you see the Vault. You see Capital. So they each have two functions. So Vault has deposit, withdrawal, think like bank account. Capital has issue and redeem. And then Loans has borrow and repay. So very fascinating what they're building here. I'm super excited about it. I encourage everyone to follow Trustline Inc. on Twitter. They have currently only 3,800 followers. Honestly, that's embarrassing. The XRP community should be paying attention to this and following all of these projects. This is building a Web3 credit network for payments. This is huge. This is not hype. These are facts. I just went through it. It's complicated. Yes, it's got some technical components to it, but it's similar to like banking. So they are live right now on the Constant testnet. This is a pre-release meant for users to get familiar with decentralized finance in a sandboxed environment. So you can head over. Here's the link. It talks all about it. So we will be doing that too. The DeFi Standard team and I, we will be doing the testnet and going through everything. So here's the documentation. I'm going to post all these links. I want people to know your gateway to the decentralized finance. This is it. This is Deposit Spark. It allows you to use the app like a credit card or a high-yield savings account. This is the future. The traditional markets, your great reset talks and all that, that's all great, gravy. But this is the facts. These are what are being built. And I just don't see enough of the community paying attention. So this is what we need to focus on. How you could earn money. It's not that the great reset's going to come and XRP's going to $1,000 tomorrow. Ignore that stuff. I mean, you could keep an eye on it. But this is how you're going to make money and build generational wealth. This is what's to pay attention to. It's going to come to the Apple Store, Google Store. This is how you could utilize that XRP value as it goes up to earn yield and just build that compounding interest over and over with different assets. And the Patty and I did a video on the APY cloud specifically to show how Flare Finance is doing revolutionary projects. Now we have Trustline and Probity doing major things, and it's based on this closing the circle of interoperability between Flare and the XRP ledger. This is a video I did multiple weeks, if not over a month ago, on the global decentralized stablecoin. Well, this is it. This is it. It's being done. So this gives a little more specifics on how it could go on the ledger, how it uses the time series oracle. So these aren't dot connects. These are facts. So I know there's some people on Twitter, especially, I'm not going to call out names anymore, but there's just one person, iPinky, thinks that dot connecting, he just doesn't like to look at facts. But I don't want to talk about things like that. Those people, they're just off into left field. We're here, we talk facts, and we base things on facts. And that's how I've always done this channel. It's always going to be based on factual information. Always going to be like that, and that's where it's going to be in the future. And on our Patreon, we are preparing everybody for the Flare Network and how you could best take advantage of all these opportunities from Flare Finance. How is it going to be best that you're going to avoid impermanent loss? How are you going to maximize your FTSO votes? And how are you going to maximize how much reward you get for minting F assets? How are you going to utilize those in these Probity Vaults and this Trustline Credit Network? Well, that's what we're really diving into. Probity XRP and I made a spreadsheet that really explains how the yield that you're looking to earn just on a protocol level helps you to then balance out how do you want to utilize that then in your DeFi protocols like Trustline, like Probity. But it's first important to understand the foundation of the Flare Network. And we talk about everything in the Patreon Telegram group. We're going to be expanding, also adding on to Discord. And coming May 1st, we'll be having, we're streamlining the tiers. So in the next week or two, you'll see, and we will having daily Zoom calls for that. So keep an eye out for the Patreon. We are very active, and we really want to help everybody be prepared for when the Flare Network goes live and have a strategy that best suits them and their situation. So the Patreon link is in the description below. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not investment advice, but I'm Mickey B. Fresh, and I'm out.